On a quiet evening in December, Pope Francis addressed a global audience in what was anticipated to be a standard papal address. But what followed was far from ordinary. With the weight of the world's struggles in mind, Pope Francis delivered a speech so touching, so deeply human, that it moved millions to tears. His words transcended barriers of religion, culture, and geography, striking a chord in the hearts of all who listened. This wasn't just another speech. It was a call to action, a plea for unity, and an invitation to rediscover the power of love and compassion in an increasingly divided world. Before we dive deep into the story, kindly take a moment to subscribe to our channel, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell as you will be the first to see our newly posted video. The Pope began his address by acknowledging the suffering and turmoil the world has faced in recent years. "We live in times of unprecedented challenges," he said. "Wars rage on, families are torn apart, and nature cries out for mercy. But amidst all this darkness, we must not lose hope." His tone was soft but firm, and his words carried the weight of someone who has witnessed the pain of humanity firsthand. He spoke of the refugees displaced by conflict, the families devastated by natural disasters, and the countless individuals struggling with loneliness and despair. But rather than dwelling on the negatives, Pope Francis shifted the focus to what unites us all. Regardless of our differences, be it our faith, nationality, or social status, we are all children of one earth. We all share the same capacity to love, to forgive, and to heal. To illustrate his point, Pope Francis shared several deeply moving stories that left many in the audience wiping tears from their eyes. One such story was about a young Syrian boy named Ahmed, who had lost his parents in the war but found solace in the kindness of strangers. Ahmed's journey reminds us that even in the face of unimaginable loss, there is still room for hope, the Pope said. A single act of kindness can restore faith and transform lives. He also recounted the story of an elderly woman in Italy who spent her days knitting blankets for homeless people. She told me, "I may not have much, but I have enough to share warmth." This is the spirit we must all embrace, a willingness to give, even when we think we have little. Pope Francis didn't shy away from addressing the divisions plaguing the modern world. He spoke about the rise of hatred and discrimination and the dangers of indifference. "The walls we build between ourselves, whether physical or emotional, will only isolate us further," he warned. "We must replace walls with bridges, fear with understanding, and anger with love." He urged leaders of nations to prioritize peace and dialogue over conflict. "It is not enough to pray for peace. We must work for it," he said, his voice steady with conviction. But his message wasn't only for world leaders. Pope Francis made it clear that change starts at the individual level. Ask yourself, have I been a source of love today? Have I extended a hand to someone in need? The smallest acts of kindness can ripple across the world in ways we cannot imagine. As Pope Francis spoke, the atmosphere was electric. Across the world, people tuned in from their homes, workplaces, and places of worship. Social media platforms were flooded with reactions. Many shared their own stories of how the Pope's words had inspired them to reflect on their lives. A teacher in Brazil wrote, "Listening to Pope Francis reminded me why I chose to teach, to shape young minds with kindness and compassion." A nurse in Canada shared, "In my work, I see so much suffering, but tonight I feel renewed. I will continue to serve with an open heart." Even those who don't identify as religious found solace in his words. "I'm not Catholic, but Pope Francis's message today transcends religion. It's about humanity," one viewer tweeted. Toward the end of his speech, Pope Francis made a powerful gesture. Holding up a simple wooden cross, he said, "This cross is a symbol of sacrifice and love. Let it remind us of the sacrifices we must make for each other." He paused, letting the weight of his words sink in before continuing. "But love is not always grand gestures. It is in the everyday, The smile you give a stranger, the patience you show a child, the forgiveness you extend to a friend. These small acts, when multiplied, can heal the wounds of the world. At that moment, the camera panned across the audience gathered in Vatican City. Many were openly weeping, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of candles. The sound of sniffles and quiet sobs filled the air, a testament to the emotional impact of his message. Pope Francis ended his speech with a simple but profound message. Let us be the light in the darkness. Let us be the hope for the hopeless. And let us never forget that love, above all else, is the greatest gift we can offer each other. The crowd erupted into applause, their claps echoing into the night. Across the world, people rose to their feet, applauding not just the Pope's words, but the hope they carried. In the days following the speech, there was a noticeable shift in the global atmosphere. Social media platforms were abuzz with discussions about kindness and compassion. People shared stories of small acts of love they had witnessed or performed, inspired by the Pope's words. Charitable organizations reported an increase in donations, and countless individuals pledged to volunteer their time to help those in need. The speech had sparked a movement, a collective realization that while the world's problems may seem insurmountable, each person has the power to make a difference. Pope Francis's address wasn't just a momentary emotional experience. It was a reminder of the values that bind us together as humans. In a time when the world often feels fragmented and chaotic, his words served as a beacon of hope, urging us to reconnect with our shared humanity. This speech will undoubtedly go down in history as one of the most moving and impactful moments of his papacy. More importantly, it challenged each of us to reflect on our lives and consider how we can contribute to building a kinder, more compassionate world. In the end, Pope Francis didn't just move people to tears, he moved them to action. And in doing so, he reminded us all of the power of love to heal even the deepest wounds. If you find this video interesting, kindly share your thoughts on the comments section. Also, do us a favor to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, as this will help us grow and reach more audience. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in our next video.